Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is your daily go getimism number 726 for September 28th, 2016. All right, so tonight we're talking about being good enough regardless of your education. Now, what I mean by that is a lot of people think that just because you go to school, you get advanced degrees, whether it's a bachelor's, whether it's a master's, or even going on to receive your doctorate. They think that that raises, your educational level, and it does. It raises your educational level as far as your schooling is concerned, your formal education. There's no denying that. However, an education is anything that you learn. It's anything that you experience. It's anything that comes into your existence. Anything that befalls you. Anything that makes itself a part of your life. Anything that you can apply knowledge to and actually use for your benefit or teach to somebody else. That's what your education is. So sometimes people get a little bougie, they get a little snobbish, and people who haven't gone to school like that, people who haven't had advanced degrees, they sort of look down on them. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. I know what it's like to talk to people who have doctorate degrees, sometimes two. And I know what it's like to talk to people who can't even read. And one thing I know about both of them is that they both have things that they know that I don't know. Whether you can read or whether you can't even read or whether you have a PhD, you are a PhD or even an MD. So it pretty much comes down to, what have you learned that allows you to be able to carry on your existence? What have you learned that allows you to be able to live? To be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve? One of the things that I think that really raises a person's educational level is travel. I don't care how many degrees you have, if you never leave your city, if you never leave your state or your town, it's hard for me to believe that you have received a very good education. You have to see the world. You have to go somewhere else and experience other cultures in their own habitat. Because if you live in Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, LA, any of these major cities, you're going to encounter people who are from other countries. But if you only experience people who are from other countries in your country, then you only see how their accent applies from, how their accent transfers from their native language to the United States, or United States English, American English. I should say United States English because American English isn't the same thing as Canadian English. It's pretty much the same, but it's not exactly the same, eh? And it's definitely not the same as South American English, if there is any down there. But anyway, um, you know, if you don't ever leave where you come from, you begin to believe that everything in the world is similar to where you live, because that's your only point of reference. So you think that people in California, Texas, Minnesota, Chicago, Atlanta, Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, St. Louis, Memphis, Little Rock, Mount Pillier. Listen, you think that they're all the same because you don't know. You haven't gone there. You haven't been there. You probably don't even know people who are from there. And so, if you only use the internet to see how things are, you're not going to get an accurate description of how things really play out. It's sort of like it's sort of like reading a book on how to fix the plumbing in a bathroom. How to fix plumbing fixtures and all of that kind of stuff. and feeling like you could be a plumber from that, but you've never actually done it yourself. So you know all of the concepts. You know what's supposed to happen and what's supposed to go, but until you do it, you don't realize how difficult it can be actually doing it, how tiring it can be. So I'm saying all of this to say this: regardless of whether you went to an Ivy League school, or whether you went to a community college, or whether you never even got past the eighth grade and were maybe reading on a second grade level, you have learned whatever it is that you've learned. And if you've been able to reach an older age, 40, 50, sometimes 60, 70, 80, 80, people have lived a long time without even knowing how to read. How they did it, I don't know. But that speaks to their ability to have learned survival skills that were good enough to take them where they wanted to be in life. And they may have been able to make a decent living. Look at Dr. Sebi, the late, great Dr. Sebi. Didn't have a formal education. But it can't be denied that he was smart as a whip. And he did earn his right to be called a doctor. So it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But he took the things that he learned, because, you know, the schools that you've gone to and the degrees that you have gotten speak partially to your level of intelligence and your ability to be able to finish things. That's one of the things that college graduates definitely display that people who don't go to college have. It's not necessarily that they're smarter, but it's an undeniable fact that they finish what they start. If you went from being a freshman to a senior and got that piece of paper, that means that you finished what you start, regardless of your parents pushing you. Because from probably preschool all the way up to 12th grade, you may have had somebody behind you telling you that you were going to finish. But when you get to college, you're an adult. So a lot of it is on you. Of course, your parents may be paying for it. But if they stop paying for it, you can still go. And they really don't have the right to even check your grades. It's not that kind of game anymore. You're 18 years old, 19, 20, 21, 22 when you graduate. A lot of people anyway. Some people graduate early. Some people do a fifth semester, whatever. Anyway, it's probably better to assess a person based on what they can do with what they do know. Because running around here calling people stupid, calling them, you know, idiots and all of that kind of stuff, because they can't do something that you could do based on your education, excuse me, or because they haven't received an advanced formal education. You may look down on them. Some people do that. And some people are very intimidated by people who have advanced degrees. And then when they talk to them, and they sometimes realize that there's no reason to be intimidated by this person, because they really ain't all that smart. They can make you wonder how they ever got through what they got through. And some people haven't actually gotten through. Some people just lied and said they had degrees. You used to be able to get away with that mess back in the day. You ain't getting away with that no more. But you used to be able to get away with that back in the day. And I don't know, if you don't get anything out of this video, one thing that I want to impress upon you is don't diss people and put people down just because they are not you. Just because they haven't gotten what you have gotten. Believe me, if like $50,000 is $50,000. So whether you made $50,000 with a high school diploma, or whether you make $50,000 with a master's degree, $50,000 is $50,000. It's like a pound of feathers versus a pound of lead. Which one is heavier? A pound is a pound. So we have to respect that. And it's better to respect people. You're not the shit because you got a doctorate. And you're not an idiot because you only have a high school diploma or less. You're good enough if you worked at what you wanted to do, practiced, and you probably had to have a whole lot of tenacity mixed in with a little bit of luck. Luck never hurt nobody. Not well, I mean real luck, like good luck. Not the bad luck. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, you really want a good education, travel the world. I remember a teacher of mine told me that a long time ago. They said, listen, I don't care what college you go to. If you can afford to get on a plane to go to Asia, Africa, Europe, South America, Canada, anywhere else in the world, and get and be able to stay there long enough to be able to relate to the people or whatever, maybe even pick up the language a little bit, you will have a much better education than anybody who went to school. And I believe that. Because life is really about what you have done. Not about necessarily what you learned in school. Y'all know how it's going with the educational system that right now. It's a cash cow. They milking everybody. Nobody's getting out alive nowadays. The Urban Therapy with Sun show is this evening. If y'all have a chance to check it out before y'all, after y'all see this video, I'll get it up there before then. I'm gonna make it. And we're talking about the things that you would do to get what you want. Would you work for it? Would you wait for it? Would you steal for it? Would you kill for it? That's what we're talking about tonight. Sometimes it can get real deep as far as how bad you want something. And if anybody has ever asked you the question, how bad you want it, had you already thought of that before? Or did you have to think about it on the fly? If you had to think about it on the fly, it may be the case that you don't really want it. If you've already thought about it before, then you probably have already made an assessment about what you need to do to get it and what you will do to get it. So make sure y'all check out the Urban Therapy with Sun show tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 7:30 Central Time, because y'all be messing it up. 6:30 Mountain Time and 5:30 on the West Coast. Call in number 347-677-1533. Once again, the number to call is area code 347-677-1533. And if you want to listen online, go to blogtalkradio.com/Sun752. And I hope to hear from y'all tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Central. Keep it going. All right? And I holler at y'all. And remember, education is everything that you've learned. Smarts is what you apply. Intelligence is just your learning ability. It's important to know that kind of stuff. Peace.